So I haven't recorded a video in a while, and I felt like speaking to you, having some tea, and having a little chat. So tea time with Aspen. I also just recorded a podcast that is about probably the same stuff I'm going to chat about here. So if you would prefer a podcast, you can head on over to the website and give it a listen, or you can just be here with me and we'll talk. Well, I'll talk. I can feel you. We're right there. So I wanted to talk about the journey of coming home. This phrase gets used a lot, and I've found it to be so accurate. And so I just wanted to speak about it and offer some practices and some wisdom and some insight. And as always, like, this is from my heart to yours. What I say to you is as much for me as it is for you, and take what serves, leave the rest. Everything is just an offering. And so I wanted to begin with one of my favorite Rumi quotes. Are you searching for your true self? Then come out of your own prison. Leave the little creek and join the mighty river that flows into the ocean. Like an ox, don't pull the wheel of this world on your back. Take off the burden. Whirl and circle and rise above the wheel of the world. There is another view. So, for right now, this little time together, I invite you to take off the burden, to just take a breath, find your feet, feel your body, your belly, your bones, and just pause and be here. There is so much wisdom here for us when we just listen, when we get still and quiet and listen. And I know that it can be hard to understand, but know that for me, on my journey, deciding and choosing to deeply listen to my body changed everything. And know that you can build trust, you can build loving connection, you can build safety, you can build a language with yourself. It just is a practice of showing up. And so I wanted to talk about what is the first way to do that. The very first step is start where you are. You can't start anywhere else. So just like literally find your feet, find this moment, this body right here, start here, and just deepen your attention into the life of your body and see if you can feel the physical sensations in the body. Physical sensations are the building blocks of life. They are so fundamental, so key. And so just learning for you what it's like to even notice what's happening in my body, notice the physical sensations. And numbness is a sensation. It's not, you can begin to sense and feel, like, is there movement, is there temperature, texture, size, shape, and just getting really curious about what is happening in my body. So why does this matter? This moving from the thinking self into the feeling self. That's kind of like the gist, right? We're moving from the thinking into the felt sense, into the sensations in the body. So why does this matter? So why it matters to me is because I desire a deeper experience of being alive. And I think a lot of us can sense that there's something more, or that that we're skimming the surface, that we're not really landing here in life, that we're not really living. Like I used to have this experience all the time of like, I'm like waiting to live my life. It was like this postponing feeling to put it into like scientific terms. And so what I want to say to that is one of the quotes that really helped solidify this for me is a Joseph Campbell quote. And he says, people say that what we're all seeking is meaning for life. I don't think that's what we're really seeking. I think that what we're seeking is an experience of being alive. So that our life experiences on the purely physical plane will have resonance with our own innermost being and reality, so we can actually feel the rapture of being alive. So on my journey in my life, I got to a point where I realized like all of the unlived life, all of the missed moments, like I'm not really here for my life. And I got to a point where I just wasn't okay with that anymore. And so I figured out like I can't just like snap my fingers and like start living life. Like I was feeling like I was looking at my life through a window, and I couldn't just open the window and step into my life. I had to meet and interface and dance with all of the crap that was in the way, all of the barriers, all of the walls that I had built up, which leads me to another Rumi quote. Rumi's just going to basically take us through this whole thing. But the quote, and you hear it a lot, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have against it. So when I listen to these words, I don't hear eradicating the barriers, getting rid of them. In my experience, it's a deconstructing, it's a taking apart, and it's a welcoming back of those fragment pieces. And the part of this quote that gets left out a lot is, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself you have built against it, and embrace them. And embrace them. So this embracing is key. On my healing path, it's literally the choice of choosing to no longer abandon myself. And it's a moment-to-moment choice. All that I speak of, all the practices, all the things, it's moment-to-moment. It's not like, I've never met anyone in my life who's like, I am going to choose to turn towards myself and love myself and accept myself, and then they do it forever all the time from then on. In my experience, it's like a choosing again and again and again, and a moment to moment, can I turn towards my experience? Can I turn towards myself in this moment? Can I stay? Can I be with what is? And so to know that we all orphan off parts of ourselves, we all block off, we all dissociate, we all disconnect, like we all have these ways in which we have survived and managed these strategies. And it was super intelligent. I think it's important to embrace that, like this super intelligence and wisdom of the body, that it did what it had to do to keep us safe, to let us feel loved, to let us feel like we belonged. Not necessarily that those things come in like warm, beautiful packages, right? But we did all of these coping ways to survive, and it was really great. And at some point, we might want more. We might want to undo some of that because it's no longer serving our life and what we want to create. And so what I found is that it is really a practice, and I say this again and again, but it is a practice of meeting yourself again and again and holding yourself with acceptance and seeing if in this moment, can you be here? Can you tend to the life that is right here, right now? And it's really that turning towards yourself rather than abandoning. And I want to say that it is a choice and that it is not easy. Because one of the things I think that is not talked about enough is that this is not easy. Like the healing path, the awakening, the journey, the whatever you want to call it, is not freaking easy. And if anything, it gets worse before it gets better. So I know for me, it is a lot easier to bail ship, to chug a bottle of tequila and to blame and rage against the world. And I choose freedom over easy. I choose life over comfort. I choose to sit in the not so freaking wonderful place because it's life. That I want to be alive, and it's the full spectrum. It's all of the things. It's the light and the dark. Like you can't selectively numb, as Brene Brown says. You can't just choose like, oh, I just don't want to feel like the crappy stuff. If you choose to block and numb that, you numb the good stuff too, the joy, the happiness, the love, the connection. And so, just to anchor it back in what I'm talking about, if you're wondering like where to start, just start here. Literally, like take a breath with me. See if you can really feel the breath in your body, find your feet, meet yourself right here, and deepen your attention into the body. I like to place hands on body. I like to say I'm here, I'm listening, and like just to get still and listen. And I know that it's not easy. I know that sometimes what you meet is dark and murky and icky and numb and can feel so overwhelming, and that the debris that comes when you go like towards home can feel impossible to navigate. And so I want to always say it's super important to have all the support. Humans need support whether we admit it or not. Like, we're not meant to do this alone. So finding coaches and teachers and therapists and friends and community and all of that stuff is so important on the journey. So I just want to say that. And then I just want to give you permission to dream, to just say, what if? Like, what if instead of armoring and hardening, I softened and I opened and I took a breath and I found my feet and I spoke from my heart? What if instead of needing to be right, I just deeply listened? What if instead of hardening my front, I softened and I found length and dignity in my spine? And I think one of the things that has been such a friend on this journey for me is curiosity. Like, can I just get curious? Like, not needing to fix, not needing to judge, criticize, analyze. Can I just get curious about what's happening right now, right here? And can I notice? And can I be with it? Can I allow it? On my desk, I have a Post-it note as a reminder that says, be kind, be curious, be open. And it can allow for so much. If we're really rigid, like you can even feel it in your body, if we're really rigid and like this is all that we want to view, and like we have to like try to control everything from up here, and you can feel it kind of like, just seeing if you can literally melt it down with your breath and just open and just get curious about what's happening is a beautiful place to start. So pausing throughout your day, simply noticing the physical sensations in the body, simply finding your feet. I know that those things can sound so foundational and like we can just dismiss them, but trust me, it's like the alphabet. Like my coach and mentor says, like you have to know the alphabet if you want to write new stories. Right? It's easy to like in this world of like fast and easy and lose this in 2 days and do whatever. Like it's easy to just trade in those foundational disciplines and practices for like what's new and flashy and shiny. And what I have found, and many that I speak to, is like it's just another like Band-Aid. Like it's not actually getting to the heart. And so if you want to like really deeply begin to like work on like the roots, like your root system, it begins with those foundational practices. And then you can write new stories. Because if you don't have that foundations, if you don't have those ABCs, you can't write sentences and paragraphs, and you just keep rewriting the same story again and again, which I know you can sense and feel. Like that resonates, like that hits me like right here, because I wrote the same story again and again, and then at some point, at least for me, like you get to a place where you're just like, I'm done. I want more. And then you begin to choose again and again and lean into the discomfort and lean into all of the stuff. So yeah, I just want to wrap it up with see if you can pause, see if you can find your feet, see if you can take a breath, and see if you can notice the physical sensations in the body. And if you want support, if you have questions or comments, like always feel free to reach out. All the content I create is for you. And so it's really important to me that it serves you. And if there's more that you desire, or resources, or if you want to schedule a free discovery call if you're interested in embodiment coaching, or I also have like other free offerings and all sorts of good stuff on my website, Aspen Marino, and you can follow on Instagram at Aspen Marino. And yeah, always feel free to reach out. I really believe that this journey is so much done together. And so I am here. And I do want to leave with one last Rumi thing, since Rumi has been our guide through all of this. Very little grows on jagged rock. Very little grows on jagged rock. Be ground, be crumbled, so wildflowers will come up where you are. You've been stony for too many years. Try something different. Surrender. So with that, my friend, I give you and send you all the grace, all the tenderness, all the love in the world. Have a beautiful rest of your day.